Let me ask you something right now. Have you ever wondered why the moment you start pulling away, she suddenly starts pulling closer? Why the texts come in more, the attitude softens, the attention spikes, after weeks or even months of her being distant or indifferent? That's not an accident. That's not random. That's female psychology. And today, we're diving straight into it. Welcome back, fellas. This isn't one of those videos filled with fluff or general advice you've heard 1,000 times. This is for the guy who wants to understand how a woman's emotional system works when it comes to the fear of losing a man. Because when that fear is triggered the right way, you stop chasing, and she starts worrying. And trust me, when a woman starts worrying about losing you, everything shifts in your favor. See, most guys are doing the opposite. They give too much, too soon. They're overly available, overly expressive, constantly validating, thinking that's the way to keep her close. But here's the truth. A woman only values what she feels she can't control. If she's not afraid of losing you, she doesn't truly value keeping you. That's the raw truth. No sugarcoating here. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to flip that entire dynamic without being manipulative or fake. I'll show you what subtle shifts to make so that she feels a sense of urgency, a sense of uncertainty, and yes, a little fear. Not fear in a negative way, but fear that wakes up her feminine instincts and reminds her that you are a man she doesn't want to lose. 1. Stop making her emotionally comfortable. If a woman never feels like there's a chance she could lose you, she has no reason to chase you, invest in you, or even miss you. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is trying to be the emotional comfort zone for a woman at all times. You think being emotionally available, constantly reassuring her, and always being there will make her feel secure and want to be with you more. But here's what actually happens. It makes her feel safe, not excited. She knows exactly where you are, how you feel, and that no matter what she does, you're not going anywhere. That doesn't trigger desire. That triggers comfort. And comfort kills attraction over time. When you're always emotionally available, she never feels tension or uncertainty. You remove the very thing that keeps people intrigued: mystery. A woman has to feel like there's something at stake, that she has something to lose if she doesn't show up, communicate properly, or treat you right. If she knows you'll always be there, then she doesn't have to try. That's when she starts pulling away or acting lazy in the relationship. You didn't do anything wrong. You just made her too emotionally comfortable. To change this dynamic, you need to pull back emotionally, not out of punishment, but out of self-respect. You don't always have to explain how you feel. You don't have to text her first every time. You don't need to initiate deep emotional talks when she's clearly disconnected. You let her come to you more. You give space for her to feel your absence. And that's exactly what will make her start thinking about you again. Let her feel that you're solid, calm, and present, but not emotionally predictable. When she doesn't know where she fully stands with you, when you're not constantly giving her emotional comfort, she becomes more aware of your presence and more afraid of losing it. That's the key. 2. Be willing to walk away. One of the most powerful things a man can do to trigger a woman's fear of losing him is this: truly be willing to walk away. Not as a bluff, not as a game, but as a man who respects himself enough to not cling to a situation that no longer serves him. This mindset changes the entire dynamic of how a woman sees you. Most men think they need to fight harder when a woman pulls away. They chase more, text more, explain themselves more, hoping that extra effort will fix everything. But here's the reality. When you chase her harder, she relaxes. She feels no urgency to fix anything because she sees you scrambling to hold on to her. That doesn't create attraction. It creates imbalance. She becomes the prize, and you become the man trying to prove your worth. And once that dynamic settles in, it's hard to recover. Women notice when a man stops fearing the loss. They feel it in how you speak, how you move, how you make decisions, and it shakes something in them. Because now, you're not trying to convince her to stay. You're showing her that you'll be fine either way. That's when her fear kicks in. She realizes she might lose a man who's not dependent on her for emotional survival. A man who's not afraid to walk away from what no longer aligns with his standards. To develop this mindset, you have to detach your identity from her validation. You have to believe that your presence is valuable, and if she can't see it, someone else eventually will. You don't threaten to leave. You don't give ultimatums. You simply carry yourself in a way that says, I choose peace over confusion. That energy is powerful, it's attractive, and it will trigger her to reevaluate what she's about to lose. You don't make a woman fear losing you by words. You do it with action, silence, and unshakable self-respect. 3. Stay mysterious. If there's one thing that silently pulls a woman in, it's mystery. Not confusion, not mixed signals, but the kind of calm, confident mystery that makes her wonder what's going on in your mind when you don't say much. When she can't fully read you, she pays more attention. She starts questioning how you feel. And those questions? That's the fear of loss beginning to whisper in her mind. Most men over-explain. They try to prove their value through constant access, texting non-stop, sharing every detail, always making themselves available. But what that does is remove the tension, the unknown. And when a woman knows exactly where you stand all the time, there's no reason for her to chase. She doesn't miss you because she never has to wonder about you. Mystery keeps you unpredictable. That doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable or playing games. It means you don't reveal everything about yourself up front. You give her space to think. You leave room for curiosity, and curiosity is what keeps you in her head. You become a man of few deliberate words. You move in your own rhythm. You don't post everything online. You let her see glimpses of your world without handing her the entire blueprint. And when she feels like there's more to you than what she already knows, she becomes invested. She wants to be the one who figures you out. That's when the fear of losing you sets in, because now she sees you as someone with depth, with options, with independence. Never underestimate the power of mystery. It creates tension, it invites curiosity, and it positions you as a man who's not begging to be understood, but who chooses when and how he opens up. That control over your presence is what makes her start to feel your absence hard. Keep her guessing, and she'll keep wanting more. 4. Detach from her emotionally. If you want to trigger a woman's fear of losing you, stop making her emotions the center of your world. A lot of men get emotionally wrapped up in how a woman feels about them, constantly analyzing her tone, her moods, her texts. They end up walking on eggshells, reacting to every little thing she does. That's the quickest way to lose your power. Here's the truth. When a woman feels like her emotional state controls you, she doesn't fear losing you because she knows she owns you emotionally. And when she owns you emotionally, she has no reason to chase you or feel your absence. You're always there, emotionally tied to her approval or affection. Detachment doesn't mean you become cold. It means you stop reacting to her emotions like they're instructions for how to behave. If she pulls away, you don't chase. If she acts cold, you stay grounded. If she tries to test you emotionally, you stay calm and centered. That quiet confidence, that's what shifts the dynamic. A woman starts to fear losing you when she realizes her emotional games don't work on you. She sees that your world doesn't revolve around her mood swings or attention. You're stable, you're unshaken, you don't argue over text, you don't try to force a response, and you don't let her silence control your self-worth. That emotional detachment creates a powerful contrast. She expects you to beg, to question, to prove yourself, but when you don't, it forces her to rethink your value. It forces her to wonder, is he slipping away? That thought alone plants the seed of fear. And that fear? That's the beginning of her missing you. The key is staying emotionally centered no matter how she moves. You let her feel what she feels, but you stay committed to your peace. That's when she starts feeling the pressure. Not because you're playing a game, but because you've stepped out of hers. 5. Create the space for her to feel your absence. Most guys never give a woman the chance to miss them because they never truly disappear. They're always available, always texting, always watching her stories, always ready to respond the second she shows the smallest bit of attention. That constant presence kills attraction. It doesn't give her brain the space to wonder, to question, or to feel anything different. A woman can't miss what's always right in front of her. If she knows you're a text away, a call away, a scroll away, there's no urgency, no tension, no fear of loss. And when there's no fear of loss, there's no desire to hold on tighter. Now imagine this. You pull back, not with attitude, not with drama. You simply stop initiating. You don't explain it. You don't announce it. You don't make it obvious. You just get quiet. You go live. You focus on yourself, your goals, your peace. You stop reacting to her energy and start putting your own first. Suddenly, she's checking her phone more. She notices the silence. She wonders what happened. Not because you ghosted or played a game, but because the consistent energy she was used to is gone. The shift in energy is powerful. It doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like space. And in that space, she starts to replay things in her mind. She starts to notice what she used to overlook. That silence becomes louder than words. Women aren't wired to chase a man who never leaves. But once you pull back, once you stop pouring all your attention into her, she begins to feel it. That feeling, that tension between he was always there and why isn't he now, is exactly what triggers her fear of losing you. She'll test it. She might send a soft, "Hey," like nothing happened. She might post something for you to see. She's looking for your response. But here's where most men mess up. They rush back the second she shows a sign. Don't. Let her feel that gap a little longer. Let her reach. Let her energy grow toward you instead of you always leaning into her. Attraction grows in space, not in suffocation. If you want a woman to miss you, you've got to stop being so easy to reach. Be present in your life, not hers. That's when she realizes the cost of your absence and starts fearing she's already lost you. 6. Show her that you're not waiting. Here's a hard truth. The moment a woman senses that your life is on pause because of her, she loses a bit of respect. And once respect starts slipping, attraction follows. That's why one of the most powerful things you can do to trigger a woman's fear of losing you is to genuinely stop waiting on her. This doesn't mean pretending. This doesn't mean acting like you're unbothered while secretly checking your phone every 5 minutes. It means actually shifting your focus, moving forward, showing, not telling, that your life is not revolving around her decisions. When a woman walks away or pulls back, a lot of guys go into this emotional freeze. They stop dating. They stop building. They stop progressing. They think, if I wait long enough, she'll come back. But what she actually sees is a man who's emotionally dependent on her. That's not strength. That's neediness. Women are attracted to movement, to purpose, to a man who keeps going no matter what. When she sees you out there improving, elevating, connecting with new people, staying focused on your grind, not in a forced, flashy way, but in a real, steady way, something inside her shifts. She realizes she's not the center of your universe anymore, and that scares her. You have to understand, women don't miss men who wait for them. They miss the ones who outgrow the situation, the ones who don't chase, the ones who rise and become better. When you evolve in her absence, she starts to question her choice. She wonders if someone else is experiencing the man you're becoming. That's where the fear kicks in. You don't need to post flashy photos or try to prove anything. Quiet growth speaks louder. If she checks your page or hears from mutual friends and finds out you're leveling up mentally, physically, socially without her, that's the pressure she wasn't expecting. She expected you to fold. She expected you to wait. But now you've flipped the script. You're not bitter. You're not cold. You're just focused. And that difference in energy is powerful. It creates doubt in her mind. It makes her wonder if she misjudged your value. That doubt becomes the seed of fear. The fear that you won't be there when she circles back. Remember this. The man who keeps moving is always more attractive than the one who stands still hoping she'll return. So move, and let her watch you from behind. 7. Make her believe you could walk away forever. If you really want to trigger that deep emotional fear of losing you in a woman, she has to genuinely believe that you are capable of walking away and never coming back. Not in a petty or manipulative way, but in a calm, self-assured, emotionally solid way that tells her, I want you, but I don't need you. This is where most men fail. They either bluff with detachment, hoping she reacts, or they fake being unbothered while still checking her socials, responding instantly to texts, and staying emotionally attached. That doesn't work. A woman knows when your distance is a tactic. What actually impacts her psychology is when your behavior consistently shows her that your world doesn't revolve around her, and that her presence in your life is something you allow, not something you chase. If she senses that you're not chasing her anymore, that you're emotionally grounded, that you're not reacting to her pulling back, that's when her fear of losing you starts creeping in. She'll begin to question, is he really okay without me? Did I misread how much I mattered to him? That's where the fear gets planted, and it grows fast. This doesn't mean being cold. You don't need to punish her or be rude. You just live your life, stay focused on your mission, move forward. You stop trying to explain yourself. You don't chase clarity. You stop feeding the emotional loop. You pull your attention away. And most importantly, you accept the possibility that she may never come back, and you're still good. You want a woman to know that you value yourself more than any relationship. That's the energy that flips the power. It's when she senses you've reached that internal decision, that quiet strength, that she starts to feel it. Women are emotional creatures. They don't respond to words nearly as much as they respond to shifts in energy. And when your energy shifts from pursuit to peace, from needing her to releasing her, she feels it. And here's what's powerful. The moment she starts to fear losing you, she starts replaying everything in her mind. She remembers how you treated her, how you made her feel, and now she starts comparing that to the silence. That's when you become the emotional question mark in her life. That's when she feels that pull, not because of what you did, but because of what you stopped doing. So if you want her to feel it, if you want her to miss you badly, don't threaten to walk away. Just be the kind of man who actually could. When she knows that your peace comes before her attention, that your standards don't bend just because you have feelings, you don't need to convince her of your value. She'll feel it, and she'll fear losing it. Here's the hard truth. Women don't fear losing the guy who constantly needs them. They fear losing the man who knows how to walk away without drama, without begging, and without losing his center. That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what triggers a woman's fear of losing you. Not because you played games, but because you showed her that you have self-respect, boundaries, and a life that moves forward, whether she's in it or not. If you want to be that man, you've got to stop chasing validation. Stop handing over your power for crumbs of attention. Stand firm in your value and make her earn your presence. Attraction doesn't grow in the comfort zone. It grows in uncertainty. The moment she knows you're not afraid to let her go, she starts realizing how much she wants to stay. Now here's something to really think about. The woman who truly values you will fear losing you the moment she feels you no longer fear losing her. Let that sit with you. If this hit you hard or opened your eyes, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. Share your story, your experiences, or your turning point. I'll be there engaging with you because this conversation matters. If you found this helpful, make sure to share it with another man who needs to hear it. You're not here to chase. You're here to choose and be chosen by someone who recognizes your worth. Stay sharp, stay grounded. You lead, she follows.